What's up, everybody? We're back down here. I'm getting some stuff done. I'm going to get my I'm going to work on this thing a little bit today. I'm going to get the wiring is what I was trying to think of. I'm going to get all the wire loom figured out, all the wires tucked away and make them look nice. Get my tail lights. We're going to start getting those done today. I got 3 hours to myself, so I'm excited about that. I don't get that very often, so I'm going to get that done. I think tomorrow, though, I'm going to work on my Toyota some. I haven't driven that truck in a while. And I think I'm going to I got to change oil in it, and I got to figure out the AC on it, because man, it's just been hot here, and I can't go without that, especially with my kid. I mean, he needs it. So but we're going to start on this thing. First things first, I'm going to get some wire loom out. We're going to wire loom all this stuff and make it look nice and neat. And then these are my tail lights and my tail light and turn signal wires right here. I'm going to get those routed up through there and get my tail lights mounted. So let's get started. Here's a little quick update. You can see my wire loom mess I have out here, but we'll do a little quick update. I got it all pretty much done on the engine. All the wire loom done. It took me about 30, almost 40 minutes. The only thing I haven't done yet is this part. This is for my tail lights and brake lights and turn signals. I have that. I'm going to run that probably up right through here and behind that piece of padding, and then connect one to the other right here. Get that done. But I got everything else done, just except for that. I forgot my drill, so I can't really do much, because I don't have my drill or my chop saw here. I have it at my house. I used it this past week at my house on some stuff, because we're moving around some stuff at our house right now. And I left it over there. I got excited when I come over here, and I left it over at the house. So, oh well. So I'm gonna probably shift gears a little bit. I think I'm gonna start it up and see if I can adjust the carburetors and get that dead spot out right off idle. And here's a little trick I want to show you guys also. I'm sure most of you already know this. On zip ties and stuff, if you don't cut yourself like I just did, I don't know if you can see that right there. Just cut myself on that, and I forgot to do this. I take someone's texting me. I take a soldering iron. This is my old one, and I will just take this and melt down the plastic. I don't have to breathe that in, but I melt that down. Once it melts down, you can smooth it out a little bit more if you want to, but once it melts down, you don't cut yourself. It's a little trick I've always done. I forgot to show you guys that. Well, I just got through cruising around on this thing out here in the yard. A storm is blowing up. A big gust of wind came and took some of our pool furniture and blew it out there in the yard. I thought it was going to hit me, but it took me forever to get this thing to start, honestly, but it finally fired up and ran. So I drove it around. I changed the jets out. The idle jets are now, they were 55s, now they're 50s, and it still has a hesitation right off idle. I don't understand it. I guess I'll have to keep playing around with it. Everybody says those MP HPMX carburetors are hard to adjust, so I guess I'll take their word for it, because I don't do this every day. So, but it still has a little bit of hesitation right off idle. I'll just keep monkeying around with it here and there. Tomorrow, though, we're going to get the tail lights. We'll get those done, get all those put on. That's my goal for tomorrow, and we'll get my 4Runner in here. I gotta at least change oil in it, and what else? I want to check the AC on it. Well, I'll show you guys a trick to finding an AC leak. If it has an AC leak or something, we'll figure out what the deal is with that, and we'll get that going. Okay, so today we're going to get my tail lights mounted and get that all done. I got one of them right here. I'm going to put them up here. It's really the only place I can put them, so we're going to put them in somewhere something like that. I think it'll look good enough. It'll be up high enough people can see them and everything. So I want to get that done. I'm going to make a bracket though that goes in here, piece of metal. I'm probably going to just tack weld it in place here or something that goes inside here that kind of spaces this out away from the tube, so it's not going to move around like this. So it won't move around, and it'll just stay in the same spot. So that being said, I gotta get some metal. I brought my drill right here. Got my saw, or my cutoff wheel. I laid it up there. So we're gonna get started with this. I found how to dig out my bolts. I'm missing a nut for one, so I just use a black nut I had laying around. But I got my stainless steel bolts out for it, so should be ready to roll. We'll get the lights wired up on it. Try to get this done today. I really wanted to get my Toyota done this weekend so I can start driving it again, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to. Marissa's parents are moving back in over at the house, and I gotta move some stuff today. Yay. Okay, well, I got one of them mounted. I don't know. I don't know if I like them there or not, but I'll leave them there for now. I got one of them completely mounted. I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't think it's that bad. I've really been debating on putting them on the bumper like I said, but oh well, I'll leave them right here. I also like it up here because it's just, I mean, it'll be eye level with the car because this thing's so low anyway. I ended up not needing to make a bracket to go in between here. I mean, this thing is there. I'm yanking on it. It's not going to go anywhere. So I got one of them done. I got to drill out that one over there, and we'll get that one, get that bolt put in, and then we'll just wire them up, put wire loom on them, and should have tail lights. That'd be one less thing I got to fool with. And if I don't like them later on, I'll just put them on the bumper and paint where I scratched it a little bit, and put some. I'll just do some touch-up paint and put some roll bar padding over it. I mean, heck, you'll never see it anyway. Tail lights are done. Let's see if they work. I didn't even tested them yet. Actually, I just wired all this stuff up. Let's see, that'll be my tails. Yep, they working pretty good. Let's see. We'll do turn signals left. Working. And right. It's working. Good deal. So let's see if the brake lights are working. Oh, let's see. I don't know if you guys can see. Yep. Brake lights work. So good deal. So that's one less thing I got to fool with. Got that knocked off the list today. That's what I wanted to do and got it done. So next, well, that's all I can have time today to do actually. So next though, I'll get this done. I need to start working on the back bumper and get all this organized, get this figured out and get this put on. And I don't know, we're getting some stuff done. I need to figure out a windshield, and I need to wrap the exhaust and heat wrap. I need to get that done too. So, and I need to also figure out the carburetors, get those fixed. But that's all for today on this thing, I guess. But we're gonna go, I guess, take some junk over to my storage. I don't know. Made it over here to our storage. Got to unload all this crap inside our storage thing. But I got Marissa's help today. She looks so happy to be here. So let's get started. All done. One junked up storage unit full of junk. Let's go home. Well, it's actually a few days later. I was going to show you guys this. I think it's pretty crazy. Excuse the mess. We moved Marissa's grandfather in the house here with us, and so we had to move some stuff around. He's downstairs in the basement now living. Long story short, he's had a rough go at it, so he's staying with us now. But anyway, now this is our mattress we just got in. It's not car related or anything, but that's Marissa's brother's old mattress off his old bed. But Marissa and I got a new mattress for her bed. I was just showing how amazing this is, how it just comes rolled up, compressed up. This is a queen mattress. I can't believe it's in here. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to unroll this. I was just showing you guys how crazy it comes rolled up in a box. There you have it. The new mattress is out. I'm going to let it do its thing for 70-something hours because I got to wait on the box spring anyway. And it won't be here till Monday. So I'm going to let that thing expand out and de-smell. Pretty cool because it is infused in cooling gel, and it's really cool. So I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so we made it down here at Dad's house. I'm going to answer one question though real quick. I had a viewer asking me, why did you go with such smaller wheels on your truck? Why didn't you go with 20s? Those wheels are just too small. I would put something bigger. I have bigger wheels on my Honda, blah 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 blah. I'll tell you why I didn't put bigger wheels on my truck. These are 18s, obviously, perfect for me. I don't need really huge wheels, honestly. And plus, I'm kind of an old school kind of guy. I like tire. I like to see the tire on trucks and stuff. I think that's just, to me, that's just what I like. I'm an old school kind of guy. I like to see the tires. I don't like the 20s or 22s with little rubber band tires. It's not my cup of tea. Also, on trucks and cars and whatever it is, I see it almost every day, or every week, I should say, at our shop that I work in. When you put a truck like this on the rack and you raise it up, and you come up and you grab the tire, you'll grab the top of the tire, and then you'll grab the bottom of the tire with your other hand. And what you do is you'll take the tire and you'll wiggle it. You can move it back and forth. If you can move it back and forth, what will happen is you'll have play. If you have play in that means either your ball joints are bad or your wheel bearings are shot. And if you grab the sides of the tires, front to back, and then you shake it, you shimmy it back and forth, and you have play, you can feel it, your steering's wore out. Every time we have a truck that's lifted up with big wheels and tires in there with huge offsets, I'm talking -40, -30 something offset wheels on it that pushes the tire out, every time they come in here, that's what happens. Their ball joints are worn out, their wheel bearings are worn out, and their steering's worn out. Looks cool, but it just wears your stuff out more. All right, now that that's over, we're going to jump in on my 4Runner. I'm going to get that thing up here. I'm going to do an oil change on it, and I'm trying to figure out the AC. I'll show you guys how to do the AC. I'm going to pull it in here real quick and get the oil change knocked out. I'm not even going to show you guys that because that's super easy to do. But I'll get that done, then I'll show you guys how to find an AC. If it has a leak, or we'll see if the compressors, if it's even getting power to the clutch, compressor clutch, I don't even know. It just quit working and it's hot, and I don't want my son riding around in a really hot vehicle like that. So I'm going to pull that up here and do the oil change real quick. Well, the easy part's done. I did the oil change, that's all done. As I was backing it out, I turned the AC on to see if the compressor was kicking on. The compressor's not kicking on at all, or on at all, I mean. And I was checking to see if it was getting power down there to it. There's no power to it. I want to check one little thing. That's what I like to do at work sometimes if I don't have my gauges handy. See if there's any pressure on the AC. Let's see. Push down on the shredder valve, see if there's any air. I can push down on that. So there's nothing inside there. So I got a leak somewhere. Need to find the leak. I got my gauges on here, and in case you're wondering, my high side gauge, a friend of mine had my high side line laying on an exhaust manifold, rubbed a hole in it. He's got to get me a new line for it. But anyway, I got my low side hooked up to the compressor on the low side, and if you don't know the difference on these older ones, the smaller line going to the compressor, that's your high pressure. The bigger line's always your low pressure. Just a little hint right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Freon in it, just a little bit. You can either do this two ways. I'm just going to shoot Freon in it, or you can hook up a vacuum gauge if you have one. If you have a vacuum pump, I have one, but I'm just going to do this since I already had this. This is quicker. Sometimes you can hook up a vacuum pump up and you can hear for a leak with it, but I like to do Freon. I squirt a little bit of Freon in it, and you can still find the leak with that too. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to shoot a little bit of Freon in here, so I'm going to turn my gauges on, let it shoot into the system, and listen for a leak. Okay, so I got my leak. I hear it. If you can't find a leak, this is what I do at work sometimes. I'll take a mechanic stethoscope, take off this end. Hang on. We'll take off this little end piece. You'll put the mechanic stethoscope on, and you'll just listen for a leak using this end right here. You hold it over, go around all the fittings and stuff, and you'll find a leak. Okay, I don't know if you can hear it or not over the pool pump, the leak, but I put some Freon in there. It's a slow little leak. I'm going to get you guys down in here and get a light. You can hear it. It's happening right behind the it's on the top, on the high side or whatever, where it bolts into the top of the compressor where the fitting goes. It's leaking around that somewhere, so I'm going to pull that apart and find it. You can hear it though. Okay, so I got the AC lines off. I took both of them off. There's one folded over. I got the bolts out of this thing, and I got the two bolts off the high pressure side, and I took the screw off for the it holds the wire, the AC clutch wire, out of the way. I took that off so it gave me some room. Let's see what we got. Oh, one fell off. That one's pinched a little bit. That's what the other one looks like. Yep, there's the culprit. Went and dug up a couple seals I had left over from another project. I hope these work. They're a little bit smaller, but we'll see. I'm guessing when I bolted that down there, I did this like 3 years ago. Put that compressor on 3 years ago, and I don't know if it just finally blew out. This one looks like it was fine, just like right there. You can see that little tear right there. These seals I remember these seals are kind of big when I put them on, but I'm gonna put a little bit of this ester oil around the rim of that, and I'm going to bolt it back down, and I'm just going to put everything back together. It's really easy to do. Hoses go back on. When you go put your hoses back on to have seals on them like this, put ester oil around the seal of them so you don't mess your seals up like I did, I guess. Okay, so I got all my AC lines, everything put back together the way it was. I don't have a high side. I wish I did, but I'm going to hook this on. I'm going to hook this on the low side of the AC, my gauges, just like so. Turn that on. Just like so. And what I'm going to do, I got my vacuum pump right here. I'm going to hook up my vacuum pump. I got to get an extension cord. We'll get my vacuum pump hooked in, and then we'll let it pull a vacuum and get down to the negatives down here. We'll let a vacuum evacuate for about 5-10 minutes. I let it run for 12 minutes. I turned the pump off, or turned this knob off to the gauge. I turned the pump off down here, And we're going to let it see if it stays in vacuum for, I'll give it 5 minutes. If it comes out of vacuum within 5 minutes, I got a slow leak somewhere. If not, we're good to go. It's been sitting here for 10 minutes. It's dropped down to 10, but it hasn't moved anymore, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to shoot some Freon in it just like this. I'm going to shoot this whole can in there. And we'll start it up and see what it does. Well, the luck of me strikes again. You probably can hear it. Let's see if you can get down there and hear it. Yep. I got 2 cans of Freon in. I got a can and a half in. And next thing I know, I got a can in. I started putting the second can in. I was getting ready to start it up, and all of a sudden I heard psh, loud hissing start, and it got worse and worse and worse. The luck of me strikes again. So, oh well. That's going to do it for this video. I'm going to order the right O-rings for that. That's what I get for trying to do something. I just wasted Freon I had. Oh well. I'm going to order the right O-rings and get those in a few days, and we'll try it again with the right stuff. That sucks, but what can you do? Oh well. But next video, we'll probably be back on working on this thing a little bit on my buggy. I'm probably going to wrap the exhaust with heat wrap, and I'm going to try to get this put up, bolt that where it needs to go. I need to drill that out and get that fixed, maybe, if my drill battery comes in. Had to order a new drill battery. My drill battery that I have is garbage, so I ordered a brand new one. It's cheaper to order a new one than to rebuild the one I had. Whatever. So I'm going to get that done, and then probably, oh, I got a surprise for you guys. Well, surprise for me. I don't think you guys will care as much as I do. I'm also going to get my ATVs out. We'll get those up and running. They've been sitting for a while. But my old pit bike sitting back here, I finally got a new rear wheel for it. It's been sitting here for 2 years. I haven't rode this thing in 2 years. I'm probably going to get this thing out and pop my new wheel and tire and tube on it. This back wheel is slightly bent, and one of the spokes is sticking through the wheel. So every time you put a tube in it pops it. So I fixed that for, I think, 70 bucks. I got a new wheel, tire, tube, everything. China pit bike. This is a really good investment. I'll tell you guys about that in the next video. But that's it for this one. But so yeah. So next video we'll work on that and this, unless something else happens and I got to go work on something else for somebody or whatever. So anyway, I appreciate you guys, and also we'll fix the 4Runner in the next video. I'll get the right, well, if I can, if I get the parts in, I'll get the AC lines. I guess I'll get the correct O-rings. That's what I get for trying something. I wasted a can and a half of my Freon. But anyway, enough rambling on. I appreciate you guys viewing. Click that like, subscribe button if you guys want to watch more of my content. Get out there and do what you guys always wanted to do too. Whatever it is. I mean, like I've said before in all my stuff, building something, playing around with something, having ATVs, whatever. Going on that vacation, spending time with a loved one. Just do something. Do something you haven't done before. Give it a try. Don't knock it until you try it. Anyway, appreciate you guys. I'll see y'all in the next one.